Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the most boring episode. My name is Harton, and I'm your coding friend. So, today I'm here to help you to become or transition to become a programmer. You might have the first question like, why listen to this person? Share a little bit like background of myself. I personally also don't have a bachelor of computer science. I graduated as like a integrated engineer. And then after I graduate, I decide engineer is not quite what I want. So I actually did take one Udemy course and build my resume and prep for the interview, and then like finally get myself into like couple job, and then right now I'm working for Google as a L4 software engineer. And I really want to share this experience of like how I transitioned to become a programmer, and then also help you to become a programmer. Also, like say I do tutoring math since high school, like until probably like I have been tutoring math for 10 plus years, and I really hope like say my tutoring skill can also help to make it more fun. And last but not least, I try to make this the whole video series more casual, fun, instead of like a serious, authentic teacher teaching you what you should do. I just want to be your ghetto coding friend, like we can be just very chill. And then like say probably you have the second question like say, yes, Harton, I got you. I want to be a programmer. What should I do? Honestly, it's very basic. I will break it into three steps. Number one, study the basic coding. Number two, like up your resume, like do some project, etc. And number three, prepare for the interview and also like say leak code. So share a little bit my past experience. Like after I graduate, I actually spent 1 month on learning the basic web development skill like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And I spent another month to help with the open source projects, and then like say do some fancy video resume. If you're interested in like how video resume look like, you can also check this link maybe. And then also spend the last month, like the third month, to prepare myself on leak code type question or hackathon, like basically solving math problem. Well, not just math, but like kind of riddles with JavaScript. Next question. A lot of my friend always ask me, hey Harton, like what kind of programming language should I learn first? Like Python, Java, so many names. Before talk about which language you should learn, we should talk about like say what kind of area like computer science we have. And normally I like to break it down into very simple, just front end and back end. So front end is kind of like what you see like every day in your internet, like the button or the arrow or like the video you see. Those are all front end people who actually make it for you to see. And backend is usually like say the one that do the calculation or like say do the math kind of thing. So based on this, if you're a person who love math or like say strong in logic, I would recommend you to start with backend, like learning Python or Java. Be aware of like say for backend, a lot of time when you try to debug, you only get like a number. Like okay, like if I want like let's just say if I told you my salary is like 300 whatever k per annually, and I want you to calculate the tax for me. That's exactly what a backend will do. Like you write a bunch of code and basically take in this number and then do math like plus times whatever test rates, and then you get the outcome. So and most of the time it's like numerical value, string value, etc. So that's kind of backend. However, if you like some of my friends who are not very strong on math, like a lot of my friends, they were like a nurse or like financial advisor or accountants, etc. So math may not be their best game. So in this case, if you're a very visual person or if you actually seen something visual, I normally recommend like being a front end, because like on in terms of front end, I normally found like say when people can see the stuff, it's much easier to understand. For example, front end like a lot of time you'll be like say changing this arrow from square head to triangle head, or like say this square change it to circle or blue to red. I mean like all this is easy to understand, you can see it, and also it feel sexier to see amazing visual that you render. So that's also one of the reasons why I become a front end, because I do like sexy visual. All right, so but one big thing I always tell my friends that it don't stress out too much, like say picking the right and language, because all the language they basically share very basic knowledge, like every language will have a boolean, every language will have like an integer, etc., and for loop, for example. They just probably type it differently, but all of them, they have this idea. And then once I, for me, like once I learned JavaScript, it probably took me only 2 days to learn Python. And then like if you actually want to become, like, let's just say you start from like a back end, you want to become a front end, it's super straightforward. There's definitely more stuff you need to learn to become proficient on it, but it's not like you cannot do on it. Okay, and next question I got asked a lot is like, say, Harton, I saw this XYZ school offer like say 2 years program, and then like say for 10K of the tuition, should I go to school to become a programmer? I always say it depends on you. I personally only pay $10 Canadian dollar for one Udemy course, which is on the web development, and I did not even finish that, to be honest. I only finished halfway. Like as soon as I learned HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, I just stopped there and then go ramp up my own page and then go help with the open source project. And then basically after 3 months down the road, I found my first job. And then within my job, I always learn more new things. Like say with my first job, I learned how to use C++ to render some visual. My second job is to learn like using JavaScript and D3 to render some like data visualization. So you actually do, like, a lot of the time the company doesn't do expect you to know the basic, but a lot of time they're also looking for someone who is actually good at learning, because very likely whatever that you're going to do is probably something you never done before, like at the job. So you need to learn it at the job. So for my rough advice, I always say, like, I don't think it's necessary to go to school. However, if you're a type of the person like my friend, like she say, I really need the time, like deadline, pressure, peer pressure, school to keep me in, like committed to learning, by all means, please go to school. Like, the most important part is you actually put in your hours and then to learn the fucking basic. Like, if you're not committed to time, there's nothing that can happen. Like, say, no pain, no gain, to be honest. But just to be aware of, like, say, if you do go to school, they tend to teach you everything, like including history of computer or how internet work, along with like front end, back end, and database, etc. So I personally, like, I'm very cheap ass, where like say I just want to learn the most fundamental one that is just enough for me to get a job, and then while I get paid in the job, I just learn more stuff on my own or in the job, like to expand my horizon in this case. All right, so you have listened a lot, and then you might have concern, like say, yeah, I know, like it sounds easy, but I'm not sure if I can really do this. I get you. I feel the same way. Like when I exactly like when I do this video, I also don't know, like say if if this video is actually going to help others. Like there's a lot of amazing YouTuber, they have lots of other videos about like programming or etc. And you probably feel the same way, like you have like lots of friends who is like so smart and etc. Like you probably don't feel like you may be able to do it, you're not smart enough, etc., right? But after a couple of thoughts, my philosophy is always like say, stop thinking and just fucking do it. Like Nike, just do it. Like you will never know like if you can make it or not until you try. And then I'm trying, and same for me here, like say I will never know until I try to do this video. And so here I am trying to help you, give you the most basic knowledge in the shortest time of very short period of time, so you'll know if this is for you or not, or if it work or not. And then like say let's just say the worst case scenario, it does not work out, at least you have no regrets. Like 10 years down the road, if you look back, it's like you see all your other friends is being a programmer and then earn like XYZ money. You won't be like feeling sad that you never try, because like you did try very hard this time right now, like to become a programmer, but it's just not your thing, which is fine. So all I'm asking here is like say you try your best, I try my best. Like you try your best to learn, I try my best to help you to get all the basic knowledge. And then like say again, if it doesn't work out, I have no regrets, you have no regrets. So let's work this together. That's supposed to be a fist bump, but I don't know how well it translates on the video. But yeah, like say feel free to let me know like say how this video can make it better so that you can learn better. I am not very good with fancy animation or etc. So but I will try. I will try, I promise. Alright, see ya.